I've also decided that I will dump and extract him down on this 5 provisions. So there we are. We got some provisions. I'll make a call on the adamantium. I'm not sure if 2 is a low value. It seems lower, but I'll make a call on the 2 value once I know what I need for projects, or for whatever it is I'm going to use this stuff for. Considering it's on the way back for footfall, it should be a relatively safe jump if I need to place that extractor down. Okay, we have arrived in a new system, and I'm seeing unknown ships, but I can also see the silhouette. That is a Chaos ship, and those are Eldari ships. And these are planets. Well, I'm offended by the existence of the Chaos ship, so let's go take it out, and then see where we're at from there. Once we scan some planets, we can also go back to footfall and get some profit factor, I believe, from the explorators, because I think they said 10 planets. Alright, apparently they're going first. I'm being engaged by multiple Iconoclast class destroyers, which are superior to the Cobras. So we're looking at macros and lancers. And they've picked on 2 of my voids. Joy. Torpedoes loose. Dorsals. Starboard macros. And then I think we need to swing round. This will let us swing our, turn our fresh voids on the enemy. Engage with the lance. Through the voids, but not enough. Nowhere near enough. Swing, show them the strong voids. Trying to engage my torpedoes. Oof, down to 15 on that void. What is the arc? What is the arc on your freaking lance? We're gonna get melter cannon. That hurts badly. Well, we can score 1 kill, but I have a feeling it's not going to be enough. Because we can engage through this void. Macro cannons, volley! And we can fly through, but I think we have to, all we can do is like basically do a swing round maneuver again. Lance again. Oh no, we can't swing round again. We're stuffed. We are so stuffed.
The time has come. Leave the hull strewn across the stars. Set the course.
Restart.
Why don't your technomats recharge the shields?
Are they running? Tell me they're running. They're gonna need a lance shot though. They did not get a lance shot. Restarted the voids. Fantastic. We are damaged. We are not particularly maneuverable. Honestly, I think we just make this a long-range engagement.
The time has come. Set the course.
Why do I have 1 void down still? I don't know, but I'm not happy about it. Torpedoes loose. Okay, you're coming straight on into my front voids. And my torps, apparently. If we can survive one more lance, I reckon we'll win.
We must persevere in his name.
We are going to kill you. Good kill. Okay, so I think the correct target is... No, we're going to head on. Because otherwise we're not going to get the lancers in.
Bleed them.
I make that 3 iconoclasts. 48 scrap. We're going to spend more than that on repairs. Macro cannons. Fire 4 shots, dealing 21 per shot. That is almost twice as much. That is a huge upgrade. And then Void Heretic trophies. 1836. Okay, 48. Not quite a full cargo. But we've just leveled our Void ship. Oh, that was close. That was so unfortunately close. I am saving right now. And we're going to have to repair. Oh, we got some repairs automatically. 58 scrap. Repair before we fight the Eldari. Let's do Void ship management. First of all. Oh. These can only go port or starboard, but I'm only upgrading one of my 2 cannons. So I'm going to have a good side and a bad side. Yeah, so I now have a port side that does way more damage than my starboard side. So I want to engage wherever possible. Wherever possible, I want to engage using my port guns. Then I can pick new abilities, because I've just unlocked 2, I believe. Alright, let me read these. Okay, so I've grabbed Arc Augury, which allows us every now and again to get 2 extra range, which is going to be important for getting that port battery on target, and I've got come to new heading. So basically I've gone with stuff that increases our range and ability to engage stuff. I'm nervous about the ability to engage multiple Eldari ships, but I kind of want to see what's up. And it turns out what's up is 2 Eldari Shadow Hunters, not 3, thankfully. Okay, Eldari torpedo tubes. Destroy them before they reach you. No, I think we will dodge them instead. Thank you very much. Neutron torpedoes. These should be highly maneuverable. But we can do come to new heading, I suspect. If we can make, instead of a 45-degree turn, a 90-degree turn there, burn sideways, I don't think those torps will be able to do the turn required to hit us. And those neutrons definitely won't. Let's come to new heading. That's the turn I wanted. Torpedoes loose.
Them.
Unfortunately, the way we've gone here is that we're going to be on our weak guns. But I don't think we're going to be on any guns immediately, to be honest. I think swinging in something like this should prevent the torpedoes from engaging us. Because they'll be able to, what, 45-degree turn. I'm just guessing on their maneuverability. They're probably quite maneuverable. Now, do I want to be positioned here? That'll give us any dorsals engaging. Still can't make the lance shot from that position, and that position's suicide. So I think we swing out.
Onward.
And we get to learn about Eldari weapons together. Macros fire. Nix. So what's happening here is the Eldar ships have hollow fields which project fake versions of the ship, which is a real annoyance, as you can imagine. But we will do what we have to do. That's why they're so hard to hit. Okay, they're neutron torpedoing our torpedoes. Shadow Lance. Yeah, those torpedoes are going dead. And they are through our voids. So let's swing round.
Lay in the course.
We haven't put a single we haven't put any damage on them yet. But let's do this. Restart shields.
Set the course.
Face our strong voids towards them. I still think we can evade those. Oh wait, no, there they go. They've ended their running. I think we head on them. I think we go head on. Torps out. Not out here, but torps out probably at this point.
Torpedoes locked.
Torpedoes loose. Current position, we can engage with our lance. Can't engage with the dorsals.
This one's going down.
Still missing. Each attack made by an enemy has an equal chance of targeting either the real ship or one of its projections. Each time a projection is hit, the hollow field loses one charge. And we are not landing any of our 50-50s so far.
Onward.
Shadowlance torpedoes in the void.
Your vessel's hull is
Shrouds the
exposed.
decks, Lord Captain.
Too maneuverable. But not enough. Okay, well, one Eldar is shipped down. No turn is going to save us in this situation.
The time has come.
So swing run. I'm worried about their ability at their turn. And we're not going to be able to restart voids. The problem is if we turn left, they will absolutely kill us. And the right, they will probably kill us. So right it is. No joy on their neutrons. What they'll get is a pulsar from the front. Alright, we're at 54%. Jeez, okay. We're inside the neutrons. There's an order of operations problem here. So let me think about it. Okay, so the order of operations, I think, is firstly the torpedoes go out, so the torpedoes have the maximum amount of room to maneuver. Then, before I move, the lancers fire and try and remove some hollow fields.
Fire the launch.
I'm seeing damage and I'm seeing a reduction to 2 hollow fields. Then we engage with the dorsals.
Lay in the course. Macro cannon, volley!
Okay. Now. I think what we do is Man, it's tense. Oh wait, no. Because I was thinking about whether I have to ram. I don't have to ram. I just have to shoot well.
Leave their hull strewn across the stars.
3. Turn around.
Onward.
Power away. Oh, they get a turn before our torps. That's annoying. But unless their lance can get through one of these voids and kill us... Eldari torpedoes. I have a feeling that... yeah, okay, they self-destruct, so that's 1 square. They had 1 square too much movement. I mean, I assume this is safe. Because I assume there's a whole bunch of void in there. Starboard macro cannons. Target. Eldari Shadow Runner. Fire.
Macro cannons, volley.
A commendable
And we are
victory,
clear.
Rogue Trader.
2 Wraithbone fragments. Only 30 scrap. It's going to cost way more than that to repair. Theme so far. So I'm getting the experience, which is what I wanted. But it's going to cost 60 to repair, and I took 30 scrap. But we can add those to the cargo. I'll go send them back to the Imperial Navy. And then we got to scan some planets. Okay, I didn't find much interesting elsewhere. Let's drop a save. I'd managed to find a plasteel deposit that said 7, so I dropped an extractor on it. Now I found a thing called a monastery. Lord Captain, we've received transmission from Falstone. Order of the Hammer. Okay, so apparently there's a planet... oh yeah, we heard about this. Refugees being unloaded by Rogue Trail Winterscale. Which we know they were sent from Footfall. The Order of the Hammer has judged this invasion to be an act of aggression, is asking for your lordship's protection. Interesting. Some no interest people are victims, not invaders. Prepare my shuttle. I'll head to the planet and resolve the conflict. We not abandon people of faith in distress. Prepare a landing party. I think we have to go resolve the conflict. Alright. So there's refugees arriving. So basically these refugees have been dumped on the planet and left to die, basically. Meanwhile, the monastery... is worried. So the prelate recalled the first missionaries, received the blessings of a champion of the faith who travelled with them, found in this place a humble and pure abode wherein to cultivate wisdom and piety. Okay, so the prelate did welcome the interlopers warmly as guests, but did warn his brethren to keep their awareness. So the Order of the Hammer came out to meet the strangers, carrying water and protein, medicinal herbs. The crowd came to blows. Blood was spilt. Then the warriors of the Order of the Hammer donned their flat cows, went forth and did battle. With lasguns and bolters, they pierced the interlopers, and with their chainsaws they struck them. Oh great, okay, so the refugees and the monastery people are shooting at each other, bashing each other. Quarrel broke out, the hungry and sick lay siege to the monastery begging for help. A miracle came to pass. The God Emperor sent his champion, his confidant, his right hand, the rogue trader of the blessed house von Valancius. That's us. Okay, I think we're going to summon them to account for their deeds first. So what are they saying? The refugees want protection. The prelate is saying ours is a pure and secure abode. If they wish to confer land upon these wretches, confer it, for Foulstone has arid land in abundance. But make it not our duty to care for them, that is not our path. Provide for them and provide for us, and we shall acknowledge thee as our planetary sovereign. So I can shoot the refugees, I can protect them and take them into my care, I can kill them all, or I can leave. Hold on. The prelate, the people in the monastery are saying, if it be thy wish to confer land upon these wretches, confer it, for Foulstone has arid land in abundance. But make it not our duty to care for them, blah blah blah. Provide for them, provide for us, and we shall acknowledge you as our planetary damn straight, I want a planet. Establish a new colony. Humbly the order of the hammer heeded the God Emperor's confidant, unsealed the airlocks and opened the gate of the abode, brought forth gifts of virtue to relieve the suffering of the ill-stricken. After a prayer, the architect set to works, in accordance with the saint's teachings. Spacious living quarters, sturdy fort walls for a planetary militia. And a new yet righteous way came to Foulstone. The people rejoiced, for all was good. Oh shit, we got a colony. Colony projects. Efficiency. Hey! Okay. So there we have a colony. We own this. It's not very good. It's got 0 efficiency, 0 complacency, and 0 security. So complacency. Okay, so complacency is bad, efficiency is good, and security is good. What are our projects and what do they cost? Okay, so these all are free, but they block each other. Interesting. Okay. For St. Drusus gives us a 2-handed flamer, 22 to 33 damage that shoots in a straight line, 20 holy gifts, 2 profit factor, 1,000 with the Drusians, and 1 efficiency. The high we get the high throne. The high throne makes this a cardinal world, which gives us 2 profit factor, 1 security, 20 holy gifts, and a 5% critical hit chance against chaos. And then, or we can erect a basilica in our honor, which gives plus 30% to our prow shields, 2 profit factor, affects the amount of profit factor produced in the colony speed, increasing and decreasing them by 10%. Okay, so increased complacency is good. Look, in the end, there's only one way that this can go, and you know there's only one way this can go. A Celestial Protector. Building giant statues of myself, getting a loyal pop. I mean, I've just walked in, I saved these refugees, I protected them. I'm part of the origin story of this planet now. So this will give us profit factor, complacency, holy gifts. We won't get a flamer and we won't get 1,000 Drusian rep, which hurts, but we will get plus 30% prow shield, which, given the difficulty I've had, not difficulty, but those have been tough void combats, especially on this higher difficulty. I might even see if there's a way that I can... We'll keep trying it, but I'd almost like void difficulty to not be jacked up, and in-person combat to be, but I don't know. Anyway, what we should do now, Foulstone is now building a monument to us. I think we should jump back to Footfall. If for no other reason, then I'd like to talk to the Exploradors, get my profit factor. for turning in... I mean, we'll chart new routes first. Interesting. So we've gained the ability to travel to a couple of systems, and that system over there is Janus, which is our agri-world. I still think we go back to Footfall first, but let me have a click around, because we're starting to discover a lot of systems. If we found Janus first, there's no reason not to stop there, because most of our time is going to be spent traveling the warp. Oh, people. From Foulstone. Cool. Alright, let me have a look around. While I'm back on Footfall, I thought I'd break into that quarantine zone that we had cleared open, and a whole bunch of people from inside are like, we want to break out now that we've opened the door. And I'm like, fair play, but we also like can't have that. Anyway, let's get Pascal engaged here. All these people should already have exploits on them. Or maybe not, because it's not his turn yet. That is unfortunate. But we'll get Machine Spirit Communion down on the good guys. And what we really need here is a regular Cassia turn, which we're about to get.
Nothing I can't do. Not a problem for me.
Let's go front line over probably here. Yeah, we should be able to clean this up in just a second. Let's give the range damage over here to Team Snipers. These people are not anywhere near as dangerous as some of our previous's, so this should work better. In particular, Cassia should be able to do that in just a second. Let's knock out someone strong and dangerous first, like that one. And let's turn this into a death zone. And I'm going to run over here.
Battlefield air is good for my lungs.
To give Cassia the extra
You've
turn.
got a problem. I've got a prize.
Beautiful. High momentum. Probably should have tapped the tactical advantage to make that kills on everyone, but it is what it is. Let's clean this up. Okay, this is promising. In the middle of the plague zone, I found something called Two Mutants' Lair, which makes me wonder if we're finding the source of this particular outbreak. Maybe some more chaosy stuff. Let us see. Okay, this is pretty full on. Not going to stop me not, picking up anything that's not nailed down. Ooh, okay. Mutant Infector, there we go. 165 hit points. Level 3 baddie. Effects and condition, permanent infector. Pus grenades, contaminated weapons. Yeah, this is some Nurgle shit. We got him. And look, this doesn't look particularly promising either. This is no natural plague.
I'll lay claim to the star.
Hi guys.
Cries of mercy.
Brace yourself!
I am glad I brought the interrogator. Mostly chaff. But I don't want anyone to be too close to that infector, so that's Cassia's #1 goal. Yeah, no, this looks easily enough to handle. Okay, so we've cleared out the mutants. I think that's going to solve the problem for their area. But most importantly, Argenta, who's been starting to lag in the damage area because she doesn't have a burst weapon to exploit the Arch-Militants. The Arch-Militant wants to be able to do area damage, single shots, and bursts, right? The sniper rifle, the 18-25, like, that's fine, but it just hasn't been delivering. So I'm thinking instead of the area on the combat shotgun, we switch over to Imperial Pride, which is 11 to 17 damage bolter, 15% arm penetration, rate of fire 4, Single and burst. Damage against Xenos, Psykers, and Surface and Chaos increased by 4. So she can Sniper Rifle, or she can Imperial Pride. That should make a difference in helping her, you know, be what we want her to be, until we can get her a Heavy Bolter. I'm going to finish looting this area, now that we've cleared it out, and then go report our success to the station boss, basically. Hopefully he'll give us some money. Translate again, but first I thought I'd have a chat to Argenta.
Greetings.
Because I believe I'm meant to have a conversation with her. And yes, I am. I'm waiting for you to tell me about your past.
Yes, I'm ready. I would ask only one thing of you, Rogue Trader. If I may, I would like to see the chamber of the sacred warrant and kneel before the relic touched by the Emperor himself. A difficult conversation lies ahead of us, and I wish to pray by the relic before I lay my soul bare.
Well, I guess it is like the holiest artifact we have, and certainly one of the holiest around, considering it is literally signed by Big E himself, or at least I'm assuming it is, since it seems to be a pretty important one. So of course, let's go there right away. So she can have a little religious experience, while also chatting casually to her boss. It's hard to overstate just what this would mean for a sister, though. Like, this is a all-out artifact. It is, yes, it is my I can do what I want piece of paper, but it is also a artifact of extreme religious significance. Argenta drops to her knees, her hands making the signs of the Aquila. Her eyes are locked on the sweeping signature on the warrant, a seemingly mundane thing, merely a flourish on a piece of paper, unless one knows whose hand left that mark and whose blood is on that paper. Okay, so she is praying. She finishes. Then she says, Rogue Trader, we need to talk. Or rather, I need to talk to you. I need to tell you something. The truth of how I ended up on Theodora von Valancius' ship, and about the cultists we encountered on Footfall. I could say, am I to understand that you lied to me, but instead I'm simply going to say I am listening. Please understand I couldn't trust you before. I'll tell you my story and you'll see why. Start at the beginning, it's easier to piece everything together that way. Upon arriving in the Expanse, I found no purpose here, only torment, because she'd transported forward in time. Now, the reliquary had been assigned to be safeguard. The reliquary I had been assigned to safeguard was already well protected by the Drusians. And then Lady Theodora, head of your dynasty, appeared. She became an agent of the divine in a way. It was from her that I learned about a planet recently discovered by her scouts, Salus Prime. For a rogue trader, the planet was of little interest, a fairer world away from convenient warp routes. But for me, learning of its existence was a revelation. I'm going to ask her if the planet belongs to my dynasty. She says, yes, the planet is now yours by right. Then I want it. I have a planet, I want another one. And then I want to make contact with the ones we already had. But it's not as simple as that. The warp route leading it to was lost. It's alright, we have Cassia. I will explain in due time. May I continue? Please continue. The description of Salus Prime was familiar to me. Okay, so she's saying that Salus Prime sounded a lot like a world from an ancient legend involving Saint Argenta. Argenta is apparently a living saint. Ooh, living saints are interesting. Because one interpretation... So there are individuals in the Imperium who manifest miraculous powers on a whole different level, are seemingly immortal. Like, we're talking wings, flight, spontaneous resurrection, smiting entire armies with what appear to be psychic powers, while not themselves being psykers in inverted commas. And one of the best interpretations of what a living saint is that it is a demon, but it's a demon of the psychic presence of the Emperor. So rather than being a demon of Khorne or Tzeentch or Nurgle, that living saints are essentially doing sorcery and are connected to the Emperor. That's one interpretation of the law. Okay, tell me more about Saint Argenta. So Argenta's ship crashed on this planet. Okay, so Argenta is saying this is a ship from legend where Saint Argenta's ship crashed and she wanted to go find it. I realized at this moment that it was important that I must journey to the planet and find the ship. I boarded Lady Theodora's ship and demanded passage to the newly discovered planet of Salus Prime. Why did you keep your supposition from Reverend Hieronymus? Okay, so she's saying she told the half-truth. I told him I was going on a personal pilgrimage to embolden my spirit. It really was a pilgrimage. If I had found the ship and set foot in its decks, if I had laid hands on her remains and the relic, it would have been a sign that I was truly blessed with the saint's favour. Okay, so now we have we can chide her, or compliment her, or understand her at this point. I'm going to suggest this might have been irresponsible, because we don't want the relic to be lost. When the time is right, they reveal themselves to the worthy, but I accept this reproach and try my best to think on it. I imagine Idira was thrilled. Okay, it was her intention to visit the world anyway, and she took Argenta with her. You mentioned something called the One Star. What is it? The One Star is a relic kept by Saint Argenta. I belong to the Order Pranata, so we attach particular significance to holy relics. That's right, because you guard reliquies. The One Star is one of the lost relics of the past, so mysterious that no one even knows what it is exactly. Argenta's hagiography at times calls it a banner or a set of armor or a blessed chainsword. One thing is certain, it was a beacon of righteousness. What happened next? Defeat. I'm guessing this is where she was ambushed. Because we know she was ambushed and wounded. What I didn't expect was an ambush waiting for us on the planet. Landed there with a small unit. Followed the obscure cues, the description of the mountains and rivers from millennia-old tales, and I was certain that I had found the way to the ship. Then we were attacked. The words we heard in the heretic's shrine on footfalls, something about the ways doors, pleased to address some lord at the edge of daybreak. Okay, so the cult was there. These are the same words that were spoken by the cultists. My whole unit perished. All those honest, brave people I had led in search. I didn't connect these events at first. The cultists on Footfall, the cultists on Salus Prime. The cultists attacking the ship and Conrad's betrayal. What if these are all links in the same chain? What if they've long since infiltrated the ranks of Von Valancia's servants? What if I led those heretics to the sacred planet in my search? No need to blame yourself. If the heretics had really wormed their way into the Von Valancia's ranks by then, they would have found the planet even without you going there. She says, I doubt it. No one except me was particularly interested in the planet. Conrad, however, he sympathized with me when I first came aboard. He helped arrange an audience with Theodora. Okay, so maybe it was Conrad. Sadly, the only one who might have all the answers has escaped. She's saying she hopes that we meet Conrad again. And I hope she meets Conrad again, because it would make for interesting, if intense, viewing. How did you manage to escape from the cultists? So it's basically the story we were told before, that she was recovered by Theodora's people and that they left rather than continue the engagement. So that's why you didn't trust me before. I saw with my own eyes how a member of the family showed his true colours as a servant of the arch enemy. I'd already suffered a humiliating defeat at the hands of cultists and was afraid of another betrayal. I couldn't be forthright with you, and so I studied you, looking for seeds of corruptions or the light of righteousness. What did you find? A man who stood shoulder to shoulder with me and helped eradicate the cultists on Footfall. Although my opinion of you started to change even before then, when you agreed to talk to the orphans. A leader who is willing to honour those who laid their lives for him and take care of the children is a leader who inspires trust. Do you remember there was a young man whose grief and confusion had driven him to insolence? And you didn't turn a blind eye to his misdeed, but you chose the right words to show him the path to redemption. It was harsh but necessary, like the Emperor's truth. I learned much about you in that moment, Rogue Trader, and I want to believe I wasn't mistaken in my judgment. So I'm just confirming she did not ever find Saint Argenta's ship. And the route to the planet's currently lost. But now we have a new lead, the data we collected at the cultist shrine on Footfall. I don't care what that reprobate we executed said, there must be a way to track them down. Tell me, Rogue Trader, will you help me in this undertaking? Will you help me find this great relic and return it to the people of the Imperium? Wow, all these are almost all good options. There's nothing I wouldn't do to reclaim a sacred object. If it's important to you, I will help. Searching for ancient ships is an exciting prospect. Of course I will help. Oh, there's a terrible option down the bottom, so I don't think I want to do that. And if the accursed final dawn is evolved again, it is my duty to help you. The cult must be reduced to ashes throughout the entire Coronis expanse. That one. So be it, Rogue Trader. As I stand here before the warrant, the embodiment of the Emperor's will, marked by his own hand. There we are, confirmation. It is the Big E signed the warrant. I vow that I will not relent until the holy relic has been returned and the heretics punished. May the light be with us on this path. Amazing. Alright, so we've got a Genta side mission. We have to find Salus Prime, get ourselves a holy artifact. That's awesome. Got a new side mission. But let's translate, head back to our new colony, scout out some new planets, and then we found Footfall, the Agri world, and since it's right there, I see no reason not to be efficient in making contact with it as soon as possible. Alright, we've arrived back at Foulstone, and apparently there is an issue. Lord Captain, there is a conflict between the followers of the Order of the Hammer and the refugees. The argument broke out near the tomb of the ancient ascetic Nicomedas Cephas, and the tomb was damaged in the fray. The pilgrims revering Cephas' rival, Philippides of Malpi, claimed Cephas to be a thief who had stolen the relics of Saint Cognatius and disturbed the sacrament of his resting place to sate his greed. The Order of the Hammer is furious at the heretical statements and the desecration of the ascetic's burial site. Okay, so we've got a dispute. It's religious in nature between two previous figures. Let's first ask what the issue here is. So, Saint Cephas is a missionary who arrived in the Expanse alongside the Order of the Hammer. And Saint... he converted many worlds. But his most famous feat was the search for the burial site of Saint Cognatius, who conquered the Expanse thousands of years ago, leaving behind scores of relics. Cephas was able to track down some of these relics. The order was named after the power of the hammer of Saint Cognatius, pious charge. Philoponese... blah, 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 blah. Okay, so we've got even more... okay, more religious argumentation. So, we have options that are... I'm guessing these are going to come down to siding with one of the two parties or trying to bring them together. And the guests who seem to have forgotten their manners will be summarily punished. 1 week without water rations. We share the indignation of the order. Let them bring forth their representatives to try and negotiate some form of coexistence, or the Malpians display impressive zeal. I charge the Order of the Hammer to welcome 100 new arrivals into their ranks. Let them learn one another's ways and come to accept this distinct path towards the reverence. What say my advisors? By coming to a foreign realm, the Malpians are demonstrating their insolence. Penance should be imposed upon them. We will send them on a pilgrimage to find relics of Saint Cognatius and learn the ways of Saint Cephas. In this way, they would be of use in returning lost relics, and the Order of the Hammer would be satisfied with a just verdict. Argenta's saying a sacred duel with 20 per side. Abelard's saying a severe test of faith. If they survive it, they will prove in their steadfastness. Heinrich says, right, let us send the most zealous ones on a repentant pilgrimage to retrieve relics. Several thousand refugees have been sent on a pilgrimage of penance to search for relics of St. Cognatus. Many believe that it was just a way to get rid of these inconvenient people. The Order of the Hammer thanked the Lord Captain for their protection and staying true to their agreements. And then we got the colony reward for finishing the Celestial Protector, complacency +1, 20 Holy Gift trophies, which is nice, 100%, and profit factor ×2. And we can start another building. Okay, so some of these are reputation locked. Reputation locked, or they require resources we don't have. But some of these things we can build. And I don't see... these things locking us out of anything. This gives 15 dogmatic points for a 1000-phased relic. And we increase all of our allies by our Law Imperium divided by 15. That's a fair chunk of additional wounds. That's because I'm testing at 100 and something on... I'm testing at 100 something on Law Imperium. Like 5 or 6 extra wounds per person, maybe? 6? 6 or 7? Assuming it counts my bonuses. Touched by Holiness is Complacency, +2. Indulgences for sale. Forgiveness of the Ecclesiarchy is Profit Factor +1, and Fellowship of the Void 2,000 points. I don't see why we wouldn't build a lot of these projects. Or are there only so many building slots? Maybe there are a limited number of building slots. Let me just count these up quickly. Okay, so by my count, there's enough room for everything. So what I should throw in first, I think, is the build speed, complacency +2, to increase project completion by another 20%, because then we just get more buildings up faster. It won't come even until we've built quite a few things, but why not? So St. Cognatius left behind many treasures that are now coveted by powerful men and women. Execute. Okay, that is now under construction. We're warp travelling, and Voxmaster Victus is saying there's a problem with Cassia. Matter is extremely delicate and concerns Lady Cassia. You see, since her first day aboard, her presence has been a disturbance to the crew's way of life. If you allow it, I prepared a detailed report. Deliver your report. The first incident occurred immediately after our departure. The Lady Navigator chastised one of the ship's runners, after which he went to his living quarters, killed his family, and then shot himself. The second incident was noted while traversing the warp. The Lady Navigator gave the pilots the wrong instructions and the void ship was thrown off course for a matter of minutes, but this was enough for the force of the Immaterium to anger the machine spirits and start a fire in the service bay. After that, officers living near the Lady Navigator's quarters began to express extreme emotions: hysteria, apathy, euphoria, rage. That is quite detrimental to crew morale and performance. The last incident was recorded on footfall. Around 100 living birds, but that's just to be... That one there is just to be expected. Like, you shouldn't be quartering people near her unless we can make her moods consistently positive. And I'm guessing that you're omitting from your report all the time where those officers were like, hey, the Lord Captain is the greatest, I'm so happy, wow, wow. I think we're focusing on hysteria, apathy, euphoria, rage. Although euphoria is pretty cool, as long as it can be focused. Around 100 living birds were delivered on board during our stay on footfall. Each bird cost a hefty sum, but I failed to discover their purpose or fate. I was also told about a conflict between the Lady Navigator and the Seneschal. Things are even worse with Jay Hidari. I intercepted a Voxcast in which she promised she would, I quote, end that Kasha if she ever saw her again. No, you won't, Jay. Don't go near my navigator. For me, Lord Captain, Lady Navigator's state of mind worries me. She is self-contained and does not mesh with the crew at all, which is why everyone avoids her. Even senior officers can be superstitious. Fear that only you are in a position to talk to her. Alright, I'm in a new system, but I'll visit the system and then I will absolutely go talk to Cassia on the bridge, because we can resolve that. I just think that the crew... Anyway, we just need to come to a common understanding, and the fact that Cassia's emotions do bleed out and how we manage that, and indeed how we might be able to use that for the benefit of the ship. But let me do a quick scan of this system first, see if there's anything interesting, then we'll go talk to Cassia. Okay, we got some nice artifacts from the planet that we found, including one profit factor.
Cannot describe how boring the bridge
And
is
then
without
let's have a
our
chat to
stimulating
Cassia. Panic flashes in her ruby red eyes and your heart starts beating a little faster while your hands go cold.
Not here. I'm begging you. Aren't noblemen supposed to discuss such things away from the servants?
Of course, let's go to my study, no one will disturb
Lead
us
the
there.
way.
What is it you wanted to talk to me about, Lord Captain? I have nothing to say to your unfounded accusations about my conflicts with the crew. I cannot recall my having a single quarrel with any of your people during the time aboard. Now, I don't want to ask about everything necessarily, but I want to ask about the birds first. Admittedly, I'm at a loss myself. The day we arrived on footfall, I sent a request to the ship's quartermaster and asked him to get me a songbird, but he never asked for clarification, and shortly before we left, I had a countless number of cages delivered to me, all wrapped in bright red panic with flickering tints of fear. There was a bird in every one. I was so excited I thought I would have 100 friends instead of just one. They were squeaking so piteously I let the poor things out. I even fed them my breakfast and dinner, but the stupid birds would not stop chittering. Even after bedtime, they were dashing about the room, smacking me in the face with their wings and defecating. I became angry and suddenly they started pecking at each other's eyes and attacking me. Then I became afraid and they fell over dead. I do not think I want to keep pets anymore. Or you keep one pet as an emotionally supportive thing. You don't let them out, you don't let them swarm you, overwhelm your emotions, and then cause you to emotionally self-destruct them. The messenger you rebuked butchered his own family and then killed himself. I haven't rebuked a single errand boy on the ship. That she ponders this remote. Actually, no, I think I remember. A kind young man with a shy smile and skillful fingers with too much rotten ochre on his shoulders. I grew tired of his disgusting colour and advised him to lighten his burden by casting the weight off his shoulders. He did not come by the next day or ever again. So he interpreted that as his family being the weight on his shoulders, which is a bit dark. And then he went and wiped them out because Cassia had asked him nicely. Tell me about the warp voyage. I saw something in the warp, something vast, predatory, shimmering with indescribable colours. It came from nowhere and stared at the ships with hundreds of hungry eyes right there in our path. I decided to change course while it was still possible, but did not want to sow panic. Would it have been better to tell the crew we were heading straight to the monster? Okay, I think that's fair enough. Will you share your thoughts with me? I'm not going to call her a monster. Everyone who has dared to slander you will be punished. There is nothing reprehensible about your actions. No, you have a kind soul but have difficulty reaching out to people. I could teach you the art of communication if you like. And we'll cut out the cough and basically saying she wants to ask me questions and I'm always so busy and she wants to catch me while she's got me. What would you like to ask? I read a treatise by a gentleman called Demobius very recently who claimed that subjects would never believe their new ruler was better than the old one unless the old one had been a tyrant. No matter the circumstances, the low-born rabble became deluded about the prospects and rebel in favour of their base desires. What do you make of that? I've got a Law Imperium option here. Your interpretation of this classical text is not entirely correct. If the subjects have grown accustomed to the ruling house, all the sovereign must do is refrain from breaching long-standing traditions, adjust unwanted laws as gradually as you would shift the bed in a flooded river, and no one will ever take power from you. Or we can say the loyalty of subjects can be bought at a pinch. I'm going to go with the understanding of the text, because she's very academic. Indeed, I was not wrong about your merits and your ability to hold a conversation. I hope my second question does not confound you either. According to the 20 tomes penned by the preacher Isfahan the Forgotten, mercy and cruelty go through the world hand in hand, but people flock only to one pan of the scales. Would you rather inspire fear in your followers, or be magnanimous and choose awe? So there's a coercion option, which is fear. There's a persuasion option, which is being nice. And there's a fellowship option. One must be a tyrant, a friend, a jester to one's subjects. What matters is that to clearly discern which role is required at any given moment. There is much power in your words, powers that makes me want to join you. Because I want to inspire, I want the awe and genuine support is the cheapest, easiest way to maintain morale and compliance. Enforcing compliance is very expensive. Coercion in general is an expensive way to run the society, but if you don't have coercion and the threat of coercion, then the first person to call your bluff exposes the weakness and you can have a snowball effect. Like imagine two societies. Imagine a society without a police force or any sort of law enforcement at all. Problematic as soon as someone decides to, as soon as organized crime, for example, gets involved, that's a problem. But at the same time, imagine if no one had any reason not to follow the rules except for the fear of getting caught. That society is also in deep, deep trouble. So I think the answer is both. I admit I was afraid we were too different, and yet you have helped me realize that I can be candid with you. Please do continue, Cassia. I must confess that sometimes I can hardly bear the burden the house has placed upon me. I feel I am not doing my best. Tell me how you, heir to the Protectorate, can bear the responsibility for billions of lives day after day and not stoop under the weight. It is not always easy, but I try to lead the dynasty towards prosperity by worthy means. Thank you for your patience, Perun. You are helping me to see the world in different colours. A novel experience for me. Our conversations hold a special place in my heart and allow me to bid you farewell for now. I'm heading back to my chambers and will consider today's conversation. Alright. I think that went well. Let's go back and travel the stars. Okay, apparently we have an emergency as I'm moving towards the next system. There have been sightings of Lady Theodora on the lower decks. There are reports of casualties and unrest. The compartment in question has already been sealed off, but I thought you might want to look into what's going on for yourself. The situation is delicate, and what's especially disturbing, there are mentions of Idira to last being present at the scene. What is Idira doing there? Idira broke her microbeat, her communicator, so I wasn't able to find anything from her, but Lord Captain, Idira is a psyker. We are in the warp, and you are the only one who would risk setting foot in that compartment. And if you do not, we will never see Idira again. I beg you, Lord Captain, do not ignore... Ah, oh, Idira's done something stupid, hasn't she? I'll deal with this personally. I need the exact location. Team up. Yeah, Heinrichs is in for this one, not Abelard. Pretty sure. Rogue Psyker. Let's go. My goal will be to pacify her. And then I'm really hoping, because if Idira's off the reservation, we'll see. Either she's going out an airlock, or if we can pacify her in some way, I'm hoping there's an option for us to send her off the ship. And if not, I'm going to reload back and void her, because we'll see what's going on. But I knew something like this would happen. I knew something like this was going to happen. Anyway. It'll be a matter of what choices the game gives us, and then I would actually, if I need to, I will save scum in order to get the best option if the option I want is not available to me. But first, let's go find out what's going on.